Good afternoon. This is Debbie Broughton, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from St. Robert, Missouri. I'm so glad that you could join me this afternoon. I'm just about 2 minutes early because I wanted to get on and be sure I was pretty straight. Because sometimes I get on and I'm way crooked, or it's in portrait instead of landscape, so you can only see a little part of my glass mat here. So I'm just going to give it about another 2 minutes and then I'll get started. If you're on, comment and let me know how the weather is at your house. This past week we've been going through different roads in our county that have been flooded, and the highway water came over I-44 the other day, and the highway was just like a parking lot. It was that way for like 24 hours, and they had to be routing all the trucks and all the traffic off and you couldn't even use the outer road because it was also overrun by water at the same spot, so you had to go way out of your way to make the detour. So it was a big mess on Wednesday. A good day not to have to go to Rolla or anything from St. Robert, because it would have taken you hours. But now it's all nice and sunny, and most of the roads are getting back open. The highway got opened yesterday morning, so it's been going good, and we're kind of getting back to normal. We just had so much rain. It must have been Monday night or Tuesday night that we just had severe storms with thunderstorms where it just rained buckets. But let me know how the weather is in your part of the country. And it's now 1 o'clock Central Time, 2 o'clock Eastern Time. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Good afternoon. My name is Debbie Broughton. I'm your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from St. Robert, Missouri, and I'm so happy you could join me this afternoon. So today is going to be my Christmas online class, which you could have earned in October. And it is, I had like, I don't know, maybe 12 or 14 different Christmas cards, and you could pick 3, and you got to make 2 of each one. So it's going to kind of be more than 3 cards, because not everybody picked the 3 same cards. I think I have 6 cards to show. So it might take us just a little bit this afternoon to get through them. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. This is the first one I want to show you. And it is using the Snowy Wonder suite with all the snow globes and things. So this is my envelope. This is how you will get your items if you ever order a class from me. Sometimes they fit in these envelopes so well it's hard to get them out because they have so many other things, like the ribbons stuck in there. So your ribbon and your embellishments, if you get it by mail, are going to be in a little plastic bag, just because you never know in the mailing, if I put them inside the envelopes, if they'll end up still in there. But when I just do them for myself, I know that they're not going to be moving around so much. So we're going to start here with our card base, which is basic white. And it's going to be 5.5 by 8.5, scored in the middle at 4 1/4. And we're going to use our bone folder. I had a bone folder out, but I'll get another one. And we're just going to crease this so that we can be ready to add different things to it. So we'll lay this up here and look at what else we have. We have a DSP for the middle, a strip of DSP for each side. We have a green layer that goes behind this just to make it a little more sturdy for when we put the ribbon around it. We have a snow globe, which you will probably have to finish fussy cutting out your snow globes, because I did not do that kind of like this one for the inside. I'm going to have to fussy cut it out. They're very fast to cut out. There's just no die for these oval ones. There is a die for the big round. Well, there is, but it's smaller than this one and bigger than this one. So it's just really to cut out your own dome. So there we go. That one's for the inside. So let's get started here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do some gluing. We're going to glue. We're going to turn all these over so we can add our adhesive. Oh, my glue has this big clump on the end of it. Let me get that off so that it will come out easier. There we go. Okay. So first we're going to add this piece to our mat here for the front. Now, there's no border around the top or the bottom of this. It's going to fit exactly right top to bottom. The border's going to be left to right. And I got it on there a little bit crooked. That's why I like to use the green glue. So that I can get it on there straight. Ah, look at me, I'm making a big mess. A big mess. I hope this is not the way the whole video is going to go. Let me just try to get some of this glue off here so that I'm not sticking to the glass mat. Okay, we'll try one more time. We're going to line it up there, top to bottom, and side to side. Why can't I get this side to side to work today? I'm going to end up tearing my DSP. So we're going to work with it like this. It's because it's got so much glue on it now. It's just sticking. Okay, so when this happens, I have just a little bit of a border difference on each side, so I'm just going to trim this side, because now it is glued down there pretty good. So I'm just going to take a hair off this green side, which is how I can fix that so it will look more even. There we go. Now, before I go further, I'm going to clean up my glass mat because now I have glue on it. I have some of my alcohol wipes here, and they just wipe up glue so fast. Okay, there we go. Okay, we're going to start over now, and hopefully that was our last bad look that we're going to have. So, I'm going to put these strips of paper right on the edge. So they're right on the edge of this paper now, of the front. And before we glue this piece down, we are going to, I still have some glue on there. We're going to wrap the ribbon around it. I love this balmy blue, or pool party pom-pom ribbon. I've used it a lot on things just because it's so cute. Okay, now we should have it. So we're going to take our ribbon here, and we want to do this at the top because we're still going to have to fit the snow globe on there. So I'm simply just going to tie a knot. I'm not going to try to tie a bow with this pom-pom ribbon. And so I think that, let me get my ribbon scissors out here. We'll just cut a little bit off these tails. Oh, it's just going to be one of those days, I know. Okay. So now that's going to be our middle part. And we're going to go ahead and glue it to our card base. You know what? It might be a little bit better too. I didn't do it on this one, but I think I will do it on this one. I'm going to put some dimensionals because it gets kind of lumpy up there underneath where the pom-pom ribbon is. So I'm just going to put, I know I already have green glue on there, but I'm just going to put a dimensional in each corner. I just think it'll help it look more smooth at the top. And we'll put one in the middle. Get all these little backings off. Somehow they get all around my house. Okay, so now we're going to fit this here in the middle. There we go. That makes it look a little bit smoother at the top there. So next we're going to take our snow globe here, and we kind of want to fit it. It might fit straight up and down, but on my other one I kind of made it go diagonally just to have it look a little different. So that's what I'm going to do with this one. Now, if you have a different color, like I'm not really sure that I like pink for Christmas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Cherry Cobbler marker here, not marker, blend, and I'm going to color my base red, just so that it kind of more coordinates with the red and the green that I have in my card. Another thing you could do is there's a die that will cut out the bottom. So if you wanted to, you could cut that out and glue it over there. Or you can color it in with a marker, with a blend. I keep calling them markers today. So I think I'm going to, I have some Poppy Parade right over here in my stash. I'm just going to cut out a new bottom because that to me is the most simple way to go about it. So let me find my dies here. I wasn't thinking about that when I cut these out. What color was my bottom going to be? So I'm just going to run and cut this out. Okay. So let me get this die put away because I know if I don't, I will end up losing it somewhere. I'm going to leave these out though because we're still going to do the snowflakes. So now I'm simply going to add this to the bottom. And I might have to trim off a little bit of the pink because it's just a little bit longer. But that should be okay. So let me find my glue. You could color this with a Stampin' Write marker too instead of the blends if you do not have the blends. So now I'm just going to trim this with my cardstock scissors. Or I should say my paper scissors. I'm just going to trim around this. The bottom of these in the paper came in the petal pink, pumpkin pie, garden green, and poppy parade. So there wasn't you always might not get a poppy parade or a garden green, but you can always fix that up if you like. Or if you don't mind the different color, that's fine too. So now we're going to add this to the card. Just going to add a little. You can either pop it up or you can use some green glue or Stampin' Seal, whichever you like to use. So I'm going to put this one on here, about there. That looks pretty good. Then the next thing we're going to do is have this big piece of Poppy Parade here. So we're going to stamp Let It Snow. In Versamark. And I meant to get my embossing tray over here, but I forgot. So let me get that. It's just right here. So first of all, I'm going to cut this Poppy Parade just a little bit smaller because I don't need such a big piece. And it doesn't really have to be straight or anything because I'm going to cut it some more. And I'm going to get my Versamark. And I'm going to ink up my Let It Snow. Okay, that looks pretty good. Then I'm going to put on my white embossing powder. Sometimes I go like, kind of flick it on the bottom, just to be sure if I have any, because of course I forgot to use my embossing buddy, even though it's laying right here. Okay, so let me run this to the embossing gun. I'm going to take my paper scissors and I'm just going to kind of like cut around the words, which is not too hard to do. I'm just going to kind of cut straight across on the snow. Come up this way. Just kind of make like this little bubble around the words. There we go. Move this. These embossing trays are so convenient because now, after I'm finished, I had a piece of Poppy Parade paper in there. I could take off this, get my jar back, get my brush, and brush it all right in there. You know, embossing powder lasts you for years sometimes, it seems like. Even though it's kind of a little bottle or jar, when you get it, it lasts a very long time. Okay, so I'm going to put the lid back on this. We're going to put this back here. And set this over here because we're going to need it for gold in a little bit. And I think for white again. And we'll clean this stamp. If I can find, here it is. What I did with my purple chamois is I just keep it in my old Stamp and Scrub container. So that helps it stay damp a little bit longer. And it also makes it easy for me to find it when I'm looking. We'll put this back. That way we won't lose it. And we are ready to continue. Okay, I am going to pop this Let It Snow up with a dimensional. I have a mess here now on the side of my glass mat. I'm just going to put one dimensional here in the middle. And we're going to kind of pop it up there. So there may be trees in the middle of your snow globe. There may be buildings, a church, or a snowman. There's just different images that they've put in there. So next, you see how I have these 3 green snowflakes? So we're going to get out our snowflake stamps. There are 3 of them. I thought there was 3 of them. Oh, this teeny weeny one down here, I missed it. Okay. And so what I did to make it easier, I put them on here and I spread them out far from each other so that the dies would be able to work. And I stamped them all at once. And I'm going to need the Garden Green ink. If you're here, if you could comment, that would be great. I love hearing from everyone. So, there's our Garden Green snowflakes. I'm just going to clean this again. so I can put them away. I have a bad habit of not doing that, and then later on I'm looking all over for all the stamps that I left on blocks and things, so I'm trying to be better about putting them away as soon as I finish. It saves me looking time later. Okay, and since this one is taking longer than we thought, I'm not going to cut these out right now, but there are dies in the die set that will cut out each one of those snowflakes. And then I just, let me see. I just used mini glue dots to stick them on to the globe. But I can do that later, and we can finish up this card now. I gave you a white inside because some people like to put a white inside even though the card base is white, but I kind of just like to go with the card base. So I'm going to take my little snow globe here, add some adhesive, and put it down here in the corner. And then you'll be ready to stamp whatever greeting you want. Let's see. This one I said, have a holly jolly Christmas. And I have a little snow globe down there. Oh, I guess pool party is also a color that the bottom of your snow globe could be. Which would have gone okay with this if it had been the pool party, because the background paper there is pool party. So the last thing we have to do for this one is my favorite part, putting on the embellishments. We're going to use some of these little snowflakes. Let me get my Pick-a tool. Of course, it's not where it's supposed to be. Yes, it is. I just didn't see it. Okay. So I'm going to use the sticky end. First, I'm going to put down some glued up, some little spots of glue to put them on. Now, since I have so many snowflakes, I've been putting on 5 when I make a card, because you want to put on odd numbers. So, let's see if we can do this. There's one. This little putty that's at the end of this Pick-a tool is just so helpful when picking up these little things. Okay, I need a bigger one because I have a big spot of glue here. Okay, and then you can use your Wink of Stella. You can, I think I'm going to kind of Stella some on the snow globe here, which Wink of Stella does not show up good on a video, but it is there. It's just the light glitter look that would be there. Okay, and then we could say we're done with card number 1. Voila. And I'm going to do the snowflakes later. So I'm going to put those over there. I'm going to clean up my mess. And we'll start on card number 2. Okay, card number 2 is a shaker card. So, let's get out what we need. We have an inside. We have a window sheet for the front of the globe. Here's the bottom of the globe. This is the deckled circle that go around the globe. This is just a circle for you to use another time. And this is what gets glued down to be the inside of the globe. Again, there's different images inside the globe. So I embossed this piece of peacock glimmer paper with the falling snow embossing folder. So that's the first thing I could do, is just go ahead and add this to the card base after I use my bone folder. Okay. I want to get it on there correctly. I ran out of the Lost Lagoon glimmer paper, so I had to use Pretty Peacock on this one, but I think it's still going to look good. But I'm pretty sure that everybody else got a piece of the Lost Lagoon. Okay, now we have our inside of our dome, so we're going to glue this right where we think our dome should be on the front of the card. Oh, I cut the bottom off this one and it because it was orange, and cut out a red one. I always give you the extra pieces just in case there's something that you might want to do with them. Like the middle of the circle. That'll be a nice circle to put on a different card. And we're going to lay this down here in the middle. And you want to be sure that you get this down here firm, because this embossing folder has a lot of texture. So you kind of have to be sure you get this down good, because you don't want it to be popping up underneath the globe, underneath the window sheet. Okay. So now I have my window sheet here somewhere. They're hard to find sometimes. And sometimes there gets just dust and fingerprints and everything. Really like to get on these window sheets. So I'm just going to take an alcohol wipe. This is why I love these, because they are good for lots of different things. And I'm just going to kind of wipe it off to be sure that it's as clear as it can be. And it gets off any dust. And try not to touch it too much, so that I get more fingerprints. Okay. Okay, now I got it pretty good. We're just going to have to let this dry a little bit so I don't get it stuck down there again. So now what we're going to do is it doesn't really matter which side you do. One side, I know, if you notice, I kind of cut this a little bit because I was trying to fit it onto one more spot on the window sheet, but I'm going to hide that. So you won't, I gave it to myself so that I could play with it to hide it. Now I gave you some of these strips. I kind of had to cut them in half in order to fit them in the little envelope that you had, because I was afraid if I gave them to you too long, they would get bent up in mailing. But they'll still work. You'll just have to add a few more than I do. So I'm going to just take this and go around the outside of the window sheet. And one will not be enough. I gave you plenty though. I think I gave you 2 whole big ones. But it almost fits. It just has this little bit left here. So what I'm going to do is just cut a little bit off another one. The thing is, you want to be sure that it's sealed like all the way around it so that no snowflakes will be able to work their way and fall out. So there we go. I'm just going to trim this off a little bit right here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take off our white paper on the top. I'm trying to see if this, okay, it's already off. And we're going to take this and we're going to lay it down, lining it up with the image on our DSP. Now, it doesn't look very round, but I'm going to fix that by putting this on so that you cannot see the white. You can't see the white of the adhesive strips. And then down here at the bottom, I'm going to put the bottom of the snow globe to cover up down here. So I'm just going to, I don't want a lot of glue on here because then it's going to, you know what I forgot to do? It is going to be one of those days, isn't it? Because I forgot to put the snowflakes in there so they could shake around. But I really don't know if I'm going to be able to get this out. Oh, I can't. Okay, right over here. I can make a little hole. What you do is you lay your snowflakes down on your DSP before you put the window sheets on there so that they're already in there. But if you forget, you can always just pick it up a little bit here on the side. I'm going to put more in this time than I did last time. Just because I don't know. I think that it looked like it needed more. Okay, so now I'm going to push those in there. I'm going to seal this back down very good. And we're off to the races. Now sometimes I like to get stuck at first on the ridges of the adhesive strip, but they might come down, you know, you could play with them a little bit. And sometimes they get on top of each other. It's just weird what they do. Okay, so now we're just going to put little dots of glue around this red deckled circle. Because we don't want to put too much so that it comes out and gets all over our window sheet. Okay. Now we're going to fit this over so that it covers the white. And don't worry about the bottom because we're going to cover that up with the bottom of the globe. I'm just going to hold this here for a little while to be sure that it's going to stick. I got my fingers sticky, so now it might be a little hard to get it not to pop up with my fingers. Okay, there we go. I can come this way just a little bit more. I'm going to use my bone folder because my fingers are just too sticky. It keeps pulling it up. So I'm just going to kind of use my bone folder to go around, which works pretty good. Okay, now we're going to glue the bottom on down here, which will kind of complete the whole picture. If you wanted to, you could put some dimensionals on the bottom of it, but I think that it stays up there pretty good. And I just have a little spot down here where my strips got a little on, so I'm just kind of pushing them back in a little. And there we go. We have a shaker card. And this is for your inside. I don't like to glue down my insides until I stamped my Christmas wish in case I get crooked. So there you have it, an easy shaker card. That's going to bother me that that's sticking out down there, but I will have to push it up there a little bit more later. Okay, so now we are done with card number 2. And we had better luck with that one than we did card number 1. So let's, oh, you know what we didn't do? We didn't put the snowflakes around it. I used a lot of snowflakes on these cards just because you get so many in this little container. So again, I think I'll say 5. And what I might do to save this corner down here where you could see my strip, I might go ahead and stamp a tree. There's a stamp and a die, so I can cut out a little tree like this, and I could just add it over here on the outside, which would be good. So I'm going to put 5 again of my snowflakes. I tried to give you plenty of snowflakes. There we go. Here's the teeny one. And I really didn't know where to put a greeting for this one, so I did not put a greeting on the outside. Okay, now you can put some Wink of Stella on the bottom on your base of the snow globe. When I cut out that tree and put it here, I'm going to add some Wink of Stella to that. And I think that it will be looking pretty nice. Okay, now we're done with card number 2, and we can move on to card number 3. Okay, so here we go. Card number 3. I have a snowflake stuck to my finger. Okay, so here we go. And how I made this window was with these sophisticated sled dies, which you'll be able to see. See, I cut it out first in the gray color, Pebbled Path, and then I cut it out again. It's the back of this paper. It looks like a sky. So what you're going to have to do is get all your pieces. These two every piece is kind of these two pieces are the same, but these are one's littler, one's bigger, and the top. So you're just going to have to figure that out when you're making the window piece. So first we're going to take our bone folder, and we're going to do some gluing. We're going to glue this to here and then this in the middle. So let's get that. And I will try hard not to make a mess like I did last time I tried to glue a whole bunch. So some glue goes here. Be sure that your candles are going up and down the correct way. Leave an even border around. Take this white piece. That's going to be the base for your window. And add it to the middle. Let me be sure that's in the middle. It's a little crooked. Okay. Then we have our window outline. So I made this be with the adhesive sheets on the back so it's like a sticker. So that it'll be much easier than trying to add green glue to it. So you're just going to have to peel off this white paper, which will leave the sticky on the cardstock. Okay, we're going to get this. Oh, I have a piece stuck here. Okay, we're going to get this even. I look at it first before I press it down real hard, just to be sure I think it looks even in case I have to move it. And then when I have it where I want it, I go ahead and press it all down. Now I'm just going to put a little dot of glue in all these holes. To hold in, well, I'm going to put several dots on these to hold in the pieces that look like the window, that look like the sky that you can see out the window. So we know this looks like our biggest one. If you haven't done these before, you might want to practice before you have your glue down there which one goes in which spot. Since I've made several of these, I kind of remember. I know I had 2 of these when I started. I see it now. It's peeking out. Oh, now I've lost. Here it is on my lap. Goodness. Okay, this piece is going to go here. It's going to fit down in there. And this piece is going to go in this one over here. And there we have it. And there we have it. Our window sheet. Our window. It was kind of hard to get stars or snowflakes to show when you cut it because they are very spread out on this DSP. So I'm not going to guarantee if you have any. I just have the little bitty touch of one right there. But you still get the idea that it's the sky. So now we're going to take our wreath and I'm going to use the light spruce and the dark spruce blends to color in the leaves and then the cherry cobbler to color in the berries. So I'm just going to do a few here to show you. I know these look so far apart, don't they? Yeah, but dark shaded spruce, light shaded spruce. So I'm going to put in some light ones. I think I'll make these long tipped one be light. See, some of them already get colored in with the ink. So that's why I stamped this with shaded spruce and cut it out. So that's, I didn't want to do it with black, then my leaves would have been black. Maybe I should have colored some of these in earlier, but I knew it wouldn't take very long because there's not that many. And I'm not worried about shading or anything on something this small. I'm just coloring it one color. And then on the leaves that are not long and skinny, I am doing the dark shaded spruce. Hoping that they don't blend in too much with the ink that stamps the leaves, but they don't. If you think that they do, and if you don't have the blends, then you could use your shaded spruce stamping marker, or you could use the ink pad and a blender pen, a blender pen, or a water brush, a water painter with the brushes. I saw some long skinny ones there. Well, I'm going to make this one be a leaf. Not sure. The berries are kind of in sets of 3, so. Then I'm just going to take my dark cherry cobbler and go around and fill in. Oh, I see a leaf I missed. I will get those later. There we go. Then I'm going to add some green glue behind this. And you can place it on the window wherever you like. I'm going to place it like right here. Of course, it's going to cover up my only snowflake or star out there in the sky, but there's not really another place to put it unless I put it real low. Then I'm going to tie a knot with my ribbon. Which I'm not going to be able to guarantee I can do this today. Oh, I could. First try. I don't want to mess it up because I don't want to have to try again. Okay, this side looks a little bit longer. Okay, there we go. Then I'm just going to kind of trim my tails at an angle with my ribbon scissors. Oh, this one a little bit longer. And I'm going to use a glue dot to put this right up there. There we go. Okay. Now we're gonna fix the grading for this one. And I have some strip of paper to put along the bottom of my inside. Just to make it be coordinating. There we go. Get rid of these extra pieces. Now, hold on. I gave you a piece of petal path to put a greeting. My greeting is very skinny, but I made yours a little bit thicker. So you, in case your greeting was longer than mine. So again, we're going to get out our embossing tray. And this time we're going to remember the embossing buddy. I've had this embossing buddy a long time. And we're going to find the stamp that says love from my home to yours, which I think is in the Peaceful Season. Let me see. Yes. We put this on a block. It just fits on a block. Check to see if I think it looks pretty straight. It does. Yep. Okay. So here we go again with the Versamark. And this is going to just fit in there. Alright, I think it looks like it's pretty good. We're going to sprinkle it with white embossing powder. Okay, then I'm going to run over and heat this. Okay, we're going to put this white back because we're going to use gold on another one. So we're going to take our little brush here and brush all the white back into the jar. This is just so convenient to use. In the catalog, it's the embossing toolkit. And you get the tray, the brush, and tweezers to go with it. So that if you had to, you could hold the piece of paper that you want with the tweezers. I find it easier just to try to get it with my fingers. And since my words are so skinny, I'm going to cut some of this off again. There we go. Just a little to make it look more even. And we'll put some liquid glue on. We'll put this across the bottom. Not upside down, right side up. Across the bottom to kind of look like a planter's box at the bottom of the window. We'll put this on the end. Well, I'm not going to glue this down because I'll still want to do a greeting. And you never know if I'm going to get them straight. So, and then we're going to get these embellishments. And we use the gold ones. What I have these in is a passport sleeve. It's to fit your passport, but it works perfect to fit your embellishments in, and then they're easier to look through, and if some fall off, they'll still be in the container. I got that hint from Patty Bennett, which she was showing some different hints on how to organize your things. So here we go again. This time we're just going to put 3 gold. So I have 1. For a long time I didn't know how this putty worked, but when I finally figured it out, I love it. There we go. Now again, you can use your Wink of Stella. You could Stella, before you put this down, you could Stella your window. You could Stella well, be careful if you Stella the wreath, because it's the markers, and they might bleed if you get too heavy with the whatever it is, Wink of Stella. If you get too heavy with the Wink of Stella, sometimes it makes the ink bleed. Okay, so now we're going to put that away. We're going to gather this up and put this away. And we're done with card number 3. We're halfway there. And it's already been an hour. Okay, so now we're going to do card number 2. Not card number 2, I'm going way back. Card number 4. And I really like this one. I have some little embellishments that I found laying on my table up here, so I'm going to use those for this card. So inside this card, you have, oh, never mind, I already have my 3 right here. I have my decoration, my bird. This could be for the inside of my card. This is for my greeting. And this is for the front. And this is for here's the sled and the inside. So let me get this folded with my bone folder, which is step number 1. Okay, the first thing we're going to put down is the DSP on the card front. This is just beautiful paper. This is Season of Elegance paper. Or Elegant Season. I don't remember which way it goes, but it is beautiful with all the... It comes in cherry cobbler, peacock, garden green and mossy meadow, and then beige and crumb cake. Okay, then we're going to, I wonder if I made, okay, this one I stamped and cut it out, but I know that you might not have the stamp. So what I did was I cut this out of cardstock for you, and I forgot to make this be a sticker. So we'll have to use our little dots of green glue. And we're going to put this on diagonally. The black, when you use the basic black cardstock, it really pops off that cherry cobbler, doesn't it? Okay, then this is the card base. I cut it out of some of the Country Wood DSP so that it would look like wood. This I stamped with Memento, and then I colored it in with pecan pie. I'm just going to add a little glue on here. And this will fit right on here. Now I know I would have cut the top part off because it's the same die, but somehow I might have lost it in my envelope because I don't see it. Huh, see, it was still stuck in my envelope because it's the same die, so I knew I couldn't have forgot to cut it out if I cut out the sleigh part. There we go. And this is going to go across right up here. Okay. Again, we're going to emboss our greeting. My greetings comes from the Sophisticated Sled set, and I'll tell you what it says. Just a moment. Let's decorate the season with happiness. Because I thought that went well with the sled and the decoration on it. So here we go. Alright, so I need my Versamark back again. You know, my Versamark pad was white, and I did very good. And then one day I forgot, I didn't clean my stamp that had real red on it really good when I was cleaning it, and how it still had some pink. So now it's a little pink, but it still works great because you always color up the pink color with your embossing powder. It's just not as pristine as it used to be. When I first started Stampin' Up, I took all my stuff to the family reunion, which is a camping get-together. So we were outside at a picnic table stamping, and someone dropped my Versamark upside down right in the dirt. So that one looked bad. It was nasty for a while. So I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to take out the brush. I'm going to get the gold embossing powder. Sprinkle it on there. And I'm going to go heat it up again. I should have used the tweezers this time because I was burning my fingers. Okay. So now we're going to glue this down to the bottom of the sled. And now I'm going to have glue on my board again. Just going to fit this across. Okay, and then this time I'm not going to take the time to color this in, but I used the same colors I did last time. The shaded spruce and the cherry cobbler to color in the different parts. And I colored the bird to look like a cardinal at the top. But since this has already taken us an hour, I am not going to take the time to do that right now. I'm putting this away, you know, like I said, trying to be much better at not losing my stamps. It's not that I lose them forever. I just lose them for a little while I'm looking for where I stuck them. Okay. So now we have these 3 elements to put on there. My dog hears a truck outside, so he is probably going to bark. So I'm just going to put this bird and this part back in here along with my inside. And I have a little strip that I could put on the inside too. I'm going to put these over here because I do not, when these get too long, people get tired of watching. Okay, so this would be card number 5, but the person who picked this card does not do Facebook or the internet, so I also do a PDF to go with all the cards, so that's what she uses. So I'm not gonna take the time to show how to put it together because the other people who ordered, nobody else ordered this card. And since it's getting long, I'm just going to skip it. It's very easy to put together. You just kind of just glue all the pieces. And I will put it together later. And we'll get to our last card, which is one of my favorites. Using the Country Birdhouse. So I cut my paper out of Mossy Meadow just to have a different color for mine. Everybody else is just garden green. I I just had a piece of mossy meadow sitting there already cut. So I said, well, I'm just going to use that for mine because it'll still go together. So we're going to have a candy cane house, a bird that we're going to make into a cardinal, Christmas. Again, we're going to use the embossing to get Christmases in the air, some leaves, the different tops to the house, a ribbon, some candy cane, our little peppermint candies to match the house. Here's a black for the eye. And I'm not sure what this is. This is a red, but I'm trying to decide what I would have had a red with. Oh, a red is for the eye on Christmas. So see, I embossed this with the birch bark embossed 3D embossing folder. And the first thing I'm going to do is put this ribbon at the bottom. So I'm going to decide which side I want to have showing. And I'm going to get my tear and tape. And I'm going to need 4 pieces. So I just put some here on my hand so that when I'm doing this I don't have to stop and tear it off. I'll just have all 4 of my pieces ready. And I have Mossy Meadow or Garden Green ink on my thumb as usual. So we're going to take this piece here and we're going to lay it down, and we're going to take another piece and lay it down here. Take off the top layer. Might have to really press this down because the embossing folder really embosses and makes it not smooth at all. So sometimes you have to press hard. Okay, so now we're going to put this ribbon around. I'm going to hook this side. And then I'm going to be sure that I have it straight across on this side. And then I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I think that looks, oh, this one maybe could come just a little bit lower. There we go. Now in order that this ribbon doesn't pop off or something, we're going to put another piece of tear and tape. And you don't have to take the backing off on this one, just to hold it down. And I'm going to trim this one a little. Okay. So now we have that piece ready. Now let's put our house together. So the first thing we're going to put on is this real red glimmer paper. And it goes, if you look on here, there's exactly a spot where you could fit it down here at the bottom. So that's what you want to look for. So we're going to use our green glue, and we're just going to do both of these at the same time. Putting some drops of glue. Oh, that was a real big one. There we have it now. Now we can glue this down. And I'm going to put this part behind the ribbon. Because it's going to not show when you put this green part on, the garden green part on. Okay, so now we can glue this down. Get it evenly with even borders on your card base. Okay, next we can take the Christmas and add it to the white background. I'm just putting some little dots at different. I could have made this one be a sticker too. I cut these all at different times during out the month. And I must have my thinking cap on the day I did the one that I actually remembered to put stickers behind it. Okay, this will fit right in here. Okay, there's the Christmas. I'm going to take my bone folder again because my fingers are kind of sticky and I keep pulling it up. Then I'm going to take my one red dot here. If I could hold on to the... Oh, I did. And then add that as my dot over the eye. And we could go ahead and glue that down. This could go right up here. At first I did this one with the white dots, but then I remembered I had the peppermints and I thought they would go so well with the candy canes. So here is how I colored this in to look kind of like a cardinal. A cardinal kind of has like a mask on its face. So I just kind of drew a line and then I colored it in. I don't have a black blends marker, so I used my Stampin' Right marker. Then you couldn't see the eye, so I used this black embellishment, which is a little big, so, but it was the smallest black one I had, so. You'll have to excuse my dog. Lately he likes to bark a lot. Even when it's the people across the street coming home. So we're going to color this with my light, with my cherry cobbler here. Hey Herbie, I think it's across the street came home. They're our friends. Oh, that eye does not want to stay on there. I must have got the sticky part off the back of it somehow. I'm going to put a dot of glue there. So there's my cardinal. I'm going to set them right there, and I'm going to try to put this eye. Let me get my tweezers. These are the tweezers that come with the embossing kit. I have to get it in here correctly though because I have it upside down. There we go. Now we're going to put it on that little dot of glue there. And we're going to hope that it sticks. Okay, so now we have these little Christmas tree branches. I'm not sure what you would call them. But we're going to put these kind of around our bird. I thought I put glue behind her, but I guess I didn't. Okay. Oh, you know, after making 5 cards, my fingers have finally gotten too gluey. We're going to take this now and we're going to add this right here on the side. If you want to, I think I popped mine up on this card with a dimensional. Or you could just glue it down. Then all we have left is the greeting. So I'm going to have to put my gold embossing powder back in my containers because I'm going to use white next. I do not want to mix gold with white. There we go. Okay, we're going to get our green here. We're going to get our embossing butter. We're going to tap it all over there. We're going to get our words in the air. Oh, I just have paper and ink all over my fingers. Oh, I'm having a terrible time getting this one straight. Sometimes the actual stamp gets a little bow in it. You know, it kind of wants to go up at the end or down. So we're going to put some Versamark on our base of our birdhouse. We're going to get out our tray again. Okay, I thought I just hit it on the floor, but I didn't. So I'm going to go heat this up. All right, use our glue here. And it's going to go right down here at the bottom of the birdhouse. I'm trying to get these leaves to be sticking out on, not leaves, pine needles. Okay. Then all we have left is our little peppermints. And we haven't even lost them. They're still right there where they've been from the beginning. So we're going to take 1, 2. Of course, my finger's stuck to the third one. And 3. And 3. And there we go. And then this is the inside. Now, if you wanted to, on the inside, if you have a bird stamp or something, you could stamp it here in the corner and make it be another cardinal. A birdhouse is going to be too big, but that's about the one thing you could do. And if you didn't have, isn't the Christmas is in the Air set, which is called Peaceful Season, you could just have another thing down here or just leave it be either Garden Green or Mossy Meadow and just have Christmas across the top. Thank you so much for joining me. And I hope to have another video for you next week. Have a great day. Happy stamping. Bye.